Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
And the wind is kicked up a little bit here, but otherwise a beautiful December winter day in Landover, Maryland. 43 degrees and sunny. No rain in the forecast. Leslie Frazier, the interim coach last year, this was the site of his first win as a Viking head coach when he beat Donovan McNabb and the Redskins last year. And Mike Shanahan, who actually was an offensive coordinator back in the late 70s for the University of Minnesota. And his son Kyle Shanahan, offensive coordinator, born in Minneapolis. The Redskins won the toss and will receive.
Hey, Chris, before I get knee-deep in football, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, including you, because you know how my mind works once this baby's good.
And we're at game 15, Redskins and Vikings, yes, a touchback. We have seen way too much of that this year as Brandon Banks watches it go into the end zone. And from the 20-yard line, Rex Grossman, 58% of his passes completed, 13 touchdowns, 18 interceptions. And remember, he was benched during that 3-game stretch.
Well, and listen, he's got a great feel for this offense. The whole thing for him is ball security, 10 consecutive games with a turnover. Evan Royster getting the start today. And they are using much more of the fullback since Fred Davis, the tight end, has been suspended. I got to tell you, the offensive line really stepped up last week on the road against the New York Giants, in particular Willie Smith, the college free agent out at left tackle.
Pass is incomplete for Santana Moss. The Vikings led by Jared Allen up front with 17.5 sacks. That's second in the NFL. 21 is the Viking record held by Chris Dolman.
Yeah, Robinson's no slouch on the other side, and the inside defensive tackles have got to play better, especially when you figure Rex Grossman is a midline thrower, not a lot of movement, solid in the linebacker core, and this is where they've really, really struggled. No interceptions for this defense since week 5. And in that span, they've given up 25 touchdowns. They've really struggled on the back end.
A record 9 straight games without a pick. Grossman's throw is almost intercepted. Jamarcus Sanford at his safety spot. Santana Moss, the intended receiver. And Sanford, who plays a lot on special teams.
And it looks like he got hurt. Yeah, trying to make that interception. That ball just too far out in front of Santana Moss. You'll watch it come right down the numbers here. Moss reaches out for it, and it looked like he had just clouded the vision point of Jamarcus Sanford, who couldn't see the ball until it hit him in the hip.
Yeah, so he steps out. Jared Page, number 24, already thin in that area, steps in at safety on 3rd and 10. Santana Moss, first down, Redskins. Moss's 40th catch of the year, a 19-yard gain.
And watch the pressure coming right up the gut, just as I said on Rex Grossman, who hangs in there, Chris, and unloads this ball. Kevin Williams just blasts him. I mean, that's a body rocker. And Rex had to hang in there and wait for that route to develop downfield. The in cut with Santana Moss. That's a big-time throw when you know you're going to get a big-time hit.
On a 3rd down, just shy of the 40. It's first down now, and there is Evan Royster, Penn State's all-time career rushing leader, averaging 6 yards a carry. He's replacing Roy Halou, who had 3 100-yard games, the rookie who replaced Tim Hightower, who started the year for Mike Shanahan's offense at running back.
Well, I know Mike Shanahan appreciates guys that were big players on big stages, and this cat certainly was at Penn State. You know, their running game has changed a little bit with him out there. Mike Shanahan, always known as a zone scheme guy, which is all the combination blocking up front, guys working together, more gap blocking, more man blocking, more power runs and counters with Evan Royster.
On 2nd and 6, Grossman looks to throw. Has plenty of time, but floats it over the head of Dante Stallworth, just kind of getting rid of it. It'll be 3rd down.
Had all day to throw. Good coverage down the field. And that's, again, I think when you talk about that secondary and the Minnesota Vikings, they have had their challenges. And with Jamarcus Sanford being hurt now going to the locker room, that's going to even make things more difficult for him.
Grossman facing another 3rd down. They need to get up just short of the 50 on the Redskins side of the field.
And this is where Minnesota has really struggled, Chris, talking to Jared Allen. He said it's clear our issues are not being able to get off the field on third down.
And that pass was in and out of the hands at midfield of Santana Moss. Marcus Sherrills was all over him. The fans here wanted a flag. There is no flag.
And that's a matchup I think Rex and the Washington Redskins are going to try to hit all day. Sherrills is the nickel corner. He lines up in the slot. It's typically where you're going to see Santana Moss, and made a nice play from the backside, just getting his hand around in front of Santana Moss and knocking it down.
Sav Rocca ready to punt, and Marcus Sherrills back to receive. It bounces, and from Minnesota, they will take over on first down. London Fletcher at age 36. We'll get a look at him. He leads the NFL in tackles. Tim Ryan, Chris Myers, Redskins on defense, and one of the great stories, London Fletcher never missed a start. He'll be a free agent after this year, and he wants to stay in Washington, leading this defense on 1st and 10. Adrian Peterson with a sore right ankle gets out of one tackle and picks up maybe another yard. And Christian Ponder, who took over for Donovan McNabb, 13 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. His first start came late October against the Packers.
Yeah, and everything will be built around Adrian Peterson. Only 10 carries for him last week. Did have 6 yards a pop. They will try to get to Percy Harvin early in this game as well. John Sullivan, the center, and Phil Lodeholt, I would think the two most consistent players up front for the Minnesota Vikings on their offensive line.
Peterson, nowhere. A head-on tackle by Brian Orakpo. It'll be third down. Vikings come in 2-12, 6 straight losses.
Yeah, watch Brian Orakpo. They call this spilling it, and he's just going to get underneath the blocker and force this thing back to the outside. He's on a stunt charge inside and just goes right through Jim Kleinsaucer. One-on-one tackle. Adrian Peterson in the backfield for a tackle for loss. Well done.
On 3rd and 5 after no gain. Christian Ponder, he's athletic, he can run, and he slides for a first down just short of the 35. And we talked about London Fletcher, but Barry Cofield has received praise up front as part of this Redskin defense that really has played well all season long.
No, these 3 guys really set the tone. Adam Carricker's having his best year. Stephen Bowen's got 6 sacks. They get it done. Ryan Kerrigan, certainly in the conversation as Rookie of the Year, has actually made Brian Orakpo a better player this year, believe it or not. Played better on the corners, Chris. They have not been so great at the safety position.
Toby Gerhart checks in on 1st and 10. Ponder open for Shenko. He dropped it. Would have been inside the 40 of Washington.
Oh, they just got DeJuan Gomes in play action. Watch this, because he's going to go right by him, but watch Gomes step up because of the play action. Visante Shenko runs right by him. Ponder puts up a perfect throw, hits him right between the 8 and the 1, and Visante Shenko can't hang on. But that really comes off of Adrian Peterson. And everything that Adrian does is going to suck up those linebackers and safeties and the play action stuff. You got to make that play if you're Shenko.
The handoff to Harvin, who goes nowhere. Redskin defense tough there. Visante Shenko is he was born in Laurel, Maryland. And Percy Harvin leading the team with 72 catches from Virginia Beach, Virginia. And a guy that they want to get the ball to. He looks like he's banged up a little bit.
Well, he's 185 pounds, Chris, and he is reckless in terms of how he plays. And he does have more than 40 carries this year. And he's at 7 yards a crack, and he's not feeling good.
They're already, you said, thin in the secondary, thin at wide receiver. And we will check on the injury of Percy Harvin. 44th rushing attempt for Harvin. He's on his way to the locker room.
Yeah, and I don't agree with them running him at running back right at the start of this game. He's your most electric weapon in the passing game. You've got Adrian Peterson close to health. I don't agree with the decision to hand him the football.
It's a screen to Peterson on 3rd down, and he stops short of the 40. It'll be a 4th down for the Vikings.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're already limited in your receiver core in terms of big-time weapons. Harvin's clearly your guy. I know you're ambitious to get him the ball early, But you got Adrian Peterson, who's in his second game back off an ankle injury. Let him handle the workload, and putting Harvin in and putting him in harm's way and handing him the ball as a running back early in this game. Not so sure. As a matter of fact, I don't agree with that decision to do that.
But also Toby Gerhart. Michael Jenkins is injured. Remember earlier in the year, Bernard Berrien was released as Brandon Banks has the punt and is brought down right away inside the 15. A terrific special teams play by Brandon Burton. A 45-yard punt without a return on Christmas Eve. Scoreless, Redskins and Vikings. Already a physically bruising matchup here with the Redskins and Vikings on first down from the 16. It is Evan Royster who gets powering his way up across the 24-yard line. He's in for Roy Halou, who had a toe injury and a knee injury. Halou had been carrying the load. In fact, they worked him out in pregame warmups, hoping he'd be able to go, but was unable to. So you have Ryan Terrain behind Royster after his 8-yard pickup.